What's up, Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of MVP Games Live. This is if you're new to the show, this is where we talk about gaming news or gaming topics. Depends on what we want to talk about. Sometimes we're breaking molds, we're trend setting some Tuesdays, or we're talking about the biggest news in gaming. I do not do this alone, however. I am always joined with my beautiful co-host, Soapy Muffin.
Hey!
Soapy, I realized something just now when I was doing our little transitions is after today's show, I'm going to have to go through the settings and I'm going to have to work on the transitions because we had fade transitions. So for example, for those of you who don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to go to our end screen really quick. They're still going to be able to hear us. But when I go to it, it's a clean cut back and forth. When we were on Twitch with the Twitch settings that I had set up, it's a nice little fade into it. I think it's easier on the eyes to have a little fade into it. And I noticed, I'm like, damn, we're going to have to fix that. We're going to have to fix that because it's a hard cut. And to me, I'm anal about things. I get a little anal about things, Soapy.
Yeah, now you guys wonder why I'm never gonna edit anything.
Are you also an OCD person where if it's not perfect, you gotta fiddle with it and stuff?
Oh, I am very much if it fucking works, it works.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so we're on the polar opposite of fucking editing standards.
You could ask Brandon, Pete, my mom, when I'm editing videos or audio, I will sit there. I'm the type of person where I will sit there and edit it, and if I think it sounds weird or looks weird, for example, there was one video I thought my mouth and the audio were off, and Brandon walked by, and I'm like, "Hey, Brandon, can you look at this?" He goes, "What?" I'm like, "Do my mouth match my words?" And he goes, "Yeah, it looks fine." And I'm the type of person that'll go, you don't know what you're talking about, and still fiddle with it because in my brain it feels like it's off and it's not the best product.
You're a little editing gremlin.
I am a little editing gremlin. I got my little editing cave in here that I do. But we're here to talk some gaming for you guys. We actually got a jam-packed show today. It doesn't seem like it where we only had 3 topics, but the first topic I feel like both you and I will be opinionated with. That's the Valve news. Then we got a ton of showcases to talk about that are coming up this Thursday. Plus we got one for Xbox that'll be next month. And then we got some late news on a Portal movie that apparently is still happening according to J.J. Abrams. Before we get into everything though, let's get through the housekeeping lickety-split. Number 1, if you are not in the Discord, you are missing out. We had 2 new members. They are great. The one, let's see. I'm going to pull up their names really quick. You're going to see a little behind the scenes here. Our new faces, we actually have 3. Intro to Swine, Very Stable Genius, and Maximus 1455, the new members we have in the Discord. You could also be like them and join the Discord. Link is down below, or if you go to any of our videos, it's in the description of that video. It is truly the greatest community in the universe where we're talking about stuff each and every day. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is where you can go ahead and do that. Thank you to our Patreon sponsor, Pat Hill. That's the way you can support us and get rewarded for being a supporter of us. And last but not least, if you're watching us on a YouTube video, we're live on YouTube, usually every weekday around 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, or 3 p.m. Pacific. That's all the time zones for you right there, except for Mountain. No one really uses Mountain anymore, Soapy.
I mean, I don't know if it's so much no one uses Mountain.
No one cares about Mountain. Is that it?
Well, I mean, I think it's more of not a lot of people live in Mountain.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Not a lot of TVs going on in Mountain.
Well, I think it's also mostly, I think Colorado's the biggest city. Yeah. Or no, not city. I'm actually stupid. I just said
area, people actually living there kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's the only place. I mean, and that's the thing. I think Montana falls into that. There's 2 people who live in Montana. It's Miley Cyrus and like her dad.
It's Miley Cyrus. Phil Jackson. I think he's got a cabin up there in Montana or
Fucking
Wyoming.
course he does.
Of course he
The
does.
fucking sage is living in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
But if you're watching us on YouTube, we're usually live every weekday. And if you're watching us live, subscribe because we're posting new things each and every day. Like, for example, I've got to do my thoughts on the Eternals trailer that came out yesterday. And I also have to do my MODOK review because I watched MODOK over the weekend. And I got to tell you, yeah, my thoughts about that one. That should be fun when I actually get around to recording it this week. But, Soapy, the first thing we are diving into on today's show has to deal with our good old friends at Steam or Valve, however you want to think about it, because we had a discussion where it was Gabe Newell talked about Steam games coming over to console, coming over to PlayStation, Xbox, and we talked about could we see that by the end of the year. Well, there's an article now, a report, that Valve is making a Nintendo Switch-like gaming PC. This is from Owen S. Good at Polygon, wrote the article. He says, Ars Technica reports Valve is developing a Nintendo Switch-like portable PC, and if the world's volatile subconductor supply chain cooperates, could launch by the end of the year. The report follows the discovery on Tuesday of a change to the Steam client's code that mentions a new device called SteamPal. Pavel Dejuniuk, I hope I'm saying that right, the operator of SteamDB, first spotted the change earlier this morning, noting it was tied to a prototype controller codenamed Neptune. The exact tweet was, Valve's Neptune controller shows up in latest Steam client beta again. It's called SteamPal, Neptune name, and it has a SteamPal games, games list view Neptune games. Polygon has reached out to Valve spokesperson Doug Lombardi for comment. Given the company's history of secrecy and the nature of this rumor, a response is unlikely. Ars Technica said the company did not immediately respond to its request to comment. According to Ars sources, the SteamPal, its final name is not confirmed, is an all-in-one Linux-based PC with a touchscreen and gamepad controls, akin to the Nintendo Switch Lite. It has the capability to link to larger monitors via USB Type-C connection, but whether there will be a dedicated dock such as the Switch Lite and Switch have is unknown, Ars Technica says. Soapy, I'm just going to ask you, is this worth it for Valve? If it is true, if the SteamPal is a thing, should they be looking to do this? I either lost him or he's muted.
I'm muted. I'm actually muted.
I knew it. It's either I either lost him because of the internet or he is talking to himself right now.
Yeah, it's you'd think one of these days I would look at my microphone before I start talking.
Hey, do you hear yourself in your headphones when you talk?
No.
Okay,
so I can't talk if I hear myself.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with me. I've got it to where whatever comes into the microphone, I hear in my headset because that's what I'm used to by doing radio since I was 19?
Yeah, I can't talk if I hear my own voice in my head.
It'll distract you too much, get everything going up there. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a no, and the main reason I think that is because whenever I heard the it's a portable gaming computer, I'm like, so a laptop.
Well, not exactly. It's more like a PSP. Oh wait, another failed portable.
So, I mean, I get what Steam is going to try to do.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, to me, it's the thing with gaming PC. Ignore my dog; she's being dumb.
Your dog doesn't like it. She doesn't want Valve to be a portable gaming console.
Yeah, it's just the fact of when you do with gaming PCs, the thing you want power. I don't want portability.
Yeah.
Portability, with a Switch works fine because Nintendo games, they're casual games. I can just, sit down like I can be like, okay, I got like 10 minutes to do this. Okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
let's say someone's dropping you off at like a hospital. I know that sounds like a really fucked up thing, but like you have like a
Yeah.
doctor's appointment or something. You could be like, oh, okay, cool. On the way to the doctor's office, while I'm sitting in the waiting room, boom, I could play a Switch. I'm not gonna be like, all right, let me whip out my SteamPal and try to run a game that's gonna run like garbage on it, because like, fact of PC gaming, you don't want portability. You want something that allows you to actually go out. Or like, you basically want something that like, it's like, okay, I'm pushing this game to the maximum it can do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, hey man, I'm playing this game on like the minimum stuff. Like, but man, let me tell you, I'm playing like Team Fortress 2 in like a hospital lobby. I don't want to do that. Let me just play fucking TF2 at home on like the maximum graphics that my computer can run it at.
Well, and like you bring up a good point of, and this is kind of thing that I was thinking of, was number one, how important is portability to the games in the Switch library? Because like I look at things like the PSP or the PS Vita that failed. Well, I know it had a life, especially the Vita. There are people out there that are probably going to come after me hard for downplaying the Vita right now. But like, if you look at most PlayStation games, I never wanted to play them on the go. Mostly when I was playing on the go, it was like, okay, let me grab my Pokemon, let me grab my Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, whatever it was, and let me play those games. Whereas also you've kind of seen it to where like really the only game company that has gotten away with portable has been Nintendo. Like, I think about it, Microsoft, I can't remember a Microsoft portable device. Sony had the PSP and Vita. You had Sega had the Game Gear, which I actually love the Game Gear, except how fucking bulky it was. And basically it was like holding it, like, that's another thing too, of like, you brought it up, of with some of these, like, when you're talking about computer games, sometimes you just want power. You want a computer that can handle some. And I know maybe it's like, okay, if you play the indie games on Steam, that'll be able to, like, is it going to be the entire Steam library can be used on this SteamPal? We'll call it SteamPal right now because that's what we have. Or is it like in the tweet that I read, it has its own SteamPal games? Like, that's another thing too. If it's going to be every single game can be played on this portable device, then okay, maybe we look into this, because it always seems like portability is something we want, or game companies think we want, I should say. Because I'm like you, I'm not playing on the go anymore. I'm playing at home, and when I'm on the go, I'm doing something to where it's like I can't play because I'm either driving or doing something. But like, I'll ask you, do you think it's going to be something where every game is playable on it? Or is it going to be, hey, it just has these few games, this section of our library that is compatible with it?
Yeah, I think they're going to make it that it's going to be like a small portion of the library.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because I guarantee, like, and I will even say this right now, if you tried to run 99% of games on Steam on a portable, that portable is going to break.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to narrow it down so much. And then even at that, you have to find the games that actually play well on a portable.
Yeah.
That's the only problem of why I don't like the fact that Steam's doing it. Because it's like, obviously, like you said, Nintendo is like the undisputed king of portable. Like, obviously, you could argue like a fucking phone, like,
yeah,
you know, all that fun stuff, but like that's technically something completely different. But like with Nintendo, their library is entirely meant to be played on the go. It's not like, all right, let me fucking sit down. Like, the games that are meant to be sit down aren't on portable.
Yeah.
But Steam, like, they're, and like, it's like I said, they're computer games. I'm not sitting here like, oh, dude, I want to bring this game with me everywhere I go. Like, no, fuck that. Like, I don't want to, like, fucking bring a computer game with me everywhere I go. Like, obviously, some people would. But, like, they're not going to be the computer games that, like, you would sit down and play all the time. They're not going to be like, oh, I'm glued to my screen playing it. Like, these would just be like the, like, I dropped $300 to play a game that's like $2 on Steam.
Yeah, like I could see like for example, if you're into the sports world, like a football manager would be like if that was like compatible with the Steam Pal. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna play football manager while I'm waiting in the doctor waiting room, or I'm going to basically like anywhere where you have to wait basically. Because I think that's another thing too, where it's like kids, this is different. Kids that don't drive, like portables all for them. But like nowadays it's like I'm actually driving. So like my amount of not doing anything while I'm going somewhere is very small. So like I can see football manager working or any of those like real time strategy games could also work in this sense.
It depends with those
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of those are also really graphically dependent.
I mean, I'm talking about like play style. You're right with the graphics. Like I'm talking about like a maybe like a Civilization or an Age of Empire, like some of those games.
Playing
Or Lord of the Realms back in the day.
Playing Age of Empires on mobile would literally be the most AIDS and annoying thing in the entire world.
You think so?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little. Just a little.
Like the fact that they gave you a whole keyboard for you to do shit, and then on
Mm-hmm.
mobile you're not gonna have a mouse to click things, so you're gonna look like that idiot, like slamming your fucking fingers. You're
Just
gonna be like tapping the
tapping
shit out of
away.
your screen.
Mm-hmm. Just tap, tap, tap. Here's the one thing I do like about it, though, and to me, this is the most intriguing part about it: is could the Steam Pal, instead of how do I want to word this? Instead of marketing it for its portability of playing on the go, what if Valve and Steam marketed this thing as an alternative, not an alternative, but a rejuvenation of the LAN party? Hey, remember when you used to bring your entire tower over to your friend's house because that's what you had to do? Well, hey, now you can like, and yet again, this also goes back to your original point. How much power is the Steam Pal gonna have? Because if I'm playing a game at your house, Soapy, and I'm coming over, yeah, it's great. I can bring the Steam Pal. It's very compact, and I can just use a USB Type C to connect to a monitor at your house. But if we're playing a game together and you're on an actual PC and I'm on the Steam Pal, if I'm not up to snuff, like power wise, then it's going to be like a, hey man, you're bringing the fucking team down. Especially if it's like any of the multiplayer games where it's like, I'm talking about like Overwatch, Call of Duty esque, where it's like you and a group of 6 to 8 people that are like, hey, we're going up against this other team. Because if you don't have the power as your friend with the PC, then it would have just been like, I know it would have been a pain, but I should have just brought my fucking tower over here.
Yeah, and as well, just on top of that, of gaming PCs don't weigh like a shit ton like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, those things were built like a fucking tank. They were meant to like withstand people getting like mad and like punching
Mm-hmm.
them. Like
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, like a strong wind would break a fucking PC tower.
Now,
Like they're more.
could you imagine back then buying a PC and being like, wow, it has a glass case on the outside? I'd be paranoid. I'd be paranoid that that shit would fucking break.
Yeah, like it's now like that shit just comes standard
Mm-hmm.
with it. Of like everything's so small and compact.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the olden days, like the graphics card took up like 1/5 of the fucking computer, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, cool, wow, I can see color on my fucking computer. And nowadays, it's like, oh hey, my graphics card's like a month behind, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
still better than like old supercomputers from like the 80s.
Yeah.
Like I think it's hard to value, or it's kind of hard to find what to market this as, and it's
Mm-hmm.
solely because the fact of if you're trying to compete mobily, you're already stepping into a losing fight because Nintendo's the
Mm-hmm.
fucking undisputed king of this shit.
Yeah.
And as well on top of that of like a lot of people already do have a Switch. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think we'd have to see more from the SteamPal to see what they could offer to make it interesting enough.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think like I'm just even looking through like their catalog of games like that would even be like more of like a casual like okay like I can kind of play this for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those I'm just kind of like just play at home
The
like or
the
just
one
buy a
thing
DS or fucking like DS or something.
the one thing I will cut you off with, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, because maybe there is someone out there that's like, but guys, these that we have in our hands right now basically like have similar computing power to an actual computer. And look at how small this thing is, how thin it is, how small it is, how it fits in my hand. That we have the technology and phones to basically be supercomputers in our hands. Like, do you think we're down? The one thing I will ask is, do you think we're downplaying the possibility of a smaller portable machine packing the same, we use the word power, packing the same power as a gaming tower?
The only thing is, and this is where I've always not liked that argument. It's the same argument that's used between gaming PCs and gaming laptops. Gaming laptops will never run at the same power
Yeah.
as a game. $800 on a gaming computer and be able to play modern games.
Yeah.
You spend $800 on a gaming laptop, you're playing games from 6 years ago. Like it's essentially a smaller like basically the smaller the compartments, the weaker parts you have to get.
Yeah.
That's why, for instance, with gaming PCs, like having big motherboards that can have a lot of slots in them is really good. Basically, that's the appeal of PC gaming. That you can spend $800. Obviously, prices are inflated right now because there's like the graphics card shortage or something like that. It's either graphics card shortage or there's like there's a shortage of something.
Yeah.
And basically, with things like that, like the jump that goes from a PC, like let's say like a modern PC, like not one like how Retro spent like $3,000 on his, not one like that.
Yeah.
That's a whole different fucking animal. Like a $1,100 one versus like a $1,000 laptop. That laptop is not even thinking about running current games or like games that are just coming out at the highest graphics possible. They're like, hey man, I'm looking at about a medium.
Yeah, well, and that's like with me. I used to play WoW on a laptop, and Dave forever would be like, "How the fuck are you playing on a laptop?" And I'd be like, "No, dude, it's fine. Like, game looks fine, plays fine, feels great." And then like I bought the gaming tower and the setup that I have right now, and I booted up WoW, and I was like, "Holy shit, are you right?" Like, you were completely right. It looks so much better. And that's a game like WoW. That's a game that doesn't need a lot for you to run. You could run it at a potato or on a potato, and you'd be like, yep, game looks great. Looks great. Plays great. Just as long as the lag wasn't there, the frame rates didn't suck. But yeah, obviously, a tower is going to be better than whatever the portable device is. I'll ask you, if it comes out, does it flop? Because in the summer of 2019, the article here does reference, it says, Valve also developed the $999, that's $999, Valve Index, not Steam Machine, the virtual reality headset that they launched in summer of 2019 and developed Half-Life Alyx for it, launching the game in March of 2020. Despite a positive critical reception for both the device and the game, the global COVID-19 pandemic interrupted the device's widespread availability and attachment. Based on what you had mentioned, the Steam Machine, based on this virtual reality headset that they tried to come out with, and yes, the pandemic was one of the big reasons that halted that. If they come out with the SteamPal, will it be a success? Yes or no? What do you think?
I think it'll be a failure, and that's not even me trying to be negative. Like, obviously, I like Valve
massive
as a company.
Failure, or like just a, it's not that great.
I don't want to say massive. I think it falls somewhere between like a not that great and a massive.
Okay.
It falls into that. I think it'll fall into that, like, why the fuck did you try this?
Okay.
Like, if it hit, cool. If, like, which I don't expect it to.
Mm-hmm.
Because even that, like, I think at its best, it's going to be, like, a PSP. It's not going to be, like, a PS Vita that actually has, like, a long lifespan. The only thing that'll keep its lifespan is Valve pumping money into it. But then even at that point, it's like, why not just try to basically get people reinvested into the VR headset you made?
I think that's what they should do. Like, after the pandemic's over, try to get people invested into this virtual reality headset. Because I've said for a while, I think VR is the future. I don't know how far out that future is, but eventually we are going to be in VR or VAR land for time being. Or I'm thinking VR or AR, augmented reality. The next thing, Soapy, we will move right over is we've got a ton of showcases for this week. Thursday apparently seems like the day for showcases. We've got 3 on Thursday. We also have some news of a conference, or I should say, a presentation that will be happening in June. Let's get the June one out of the way first. I will ask you this. Xbox Bethesda E3 showcase will reportedly take place on June 13th. I will ask you, not officially, just kind of a little, what do you think Bethesda and Xbox think about showing off a month from now? Less than a month than now. About 3 weeks from now at E3.
I think we finally see Starfield.
Okay.
I think we get a release date for that.
Crossing fingers.
Maybe. Just maybe we get more Elder Scrolls news.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's gonna be some people who are gonna be like, "Huh, we're gonna get Fallout." We're not fucking getting Fallout. Keep your britches on, my guy. We're not getting that just yet.
Do we get a tease for a new Gears game?
I mean, if it's a Microsoft and Bethesda, like just basically Microsoft presenting Bethesda, no.
Okay.
If it's like, oh hey, like this is just an overall Microsoft event, maybe.
Okay.
But I think if it's just a Bethesda thing, I think we solely get Bethesda. Like maybe we get Arcane Studio stuff.
Okay.
Because since they're a part of Bethesda.
Mm-hmm. See, because that's the thing. And yet again, maybe the article said this, and I should open it up again and use my big wonderful brain to read it. Is it like the thing I wonder is at E3 this year, because Bethesda and Microsoft are all buddy because one owns the other. Is it gonna be like was in the past of, all right, Bethesda has its own conference, Microsoft has its own conference, or is it just gonna be like, hey, we're just gonna do it all together as one big thing?
I think they'll still do it as its own separate thing because Bethesda's big enough that I think Microsoft understands they can still hold the panel on their own.
Yeah.
Like, and I know obviously this is gonna make me sound like a fucking Sony hater. That's not what I'm trying to come off as. Like,
yeah,
99% of Sony's independent studios could not have their own panel.
No,
or like their own showcase.
And Bethesda was proving before the acquisition that they could have their own panel. And
they always had one of the most popular.
Yeah, the popularity of their games has reached that level to where it's like, hey, we can have our own. It would almost be like if PlayStation owned Square Enix.
Yeah. Because then at that point, it's like, okay, cool. Just continue to do whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just obviously find a way to mention us somewhere in there. But yeah, I think they're going to have 2 separate panels.
Mm-hmm.
For Microsoft, I hope to God we get Fable. I just, give me fucking something to work with here. Like, that's not even a meme anymore.
We have not seen anything since August.
Yeah, like, it's been almost a year. Like, I know it's coming. Just fucking give me, just give me a drop. Give me a drop information about it.
What's a drop? What's a drop information? Is that talking to devs? Is that a longer trailer than we had?
I mean, just let us talk to the dev team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just have them explain the process they're going through. You don't have to have gameplay ready. You don't have to have a visual trailer. It can literally just be a sit down with like a 5 to 10 minute conversation with the devs, and like ask them what they're trying to do with the game.
Yeah,
all you have to do. Like, I don't think we need like this like hour-long gameplay to be dropped. Like, no, I don't need that with a Fable game. I've played Fable before. Like, if you play one Fable or see someone play Fable, every Fable has played the exact same way as each other.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a different studio doing it this time, so who knows if they keep up that formula.
Yeah.
But like, when you're closer and you feel more comfortable, don't have to worry about like essentially your demo being glitched.
Mm-hmm.
Like then show us gameplay. But otherwise, it's like just give me a fucking drop information.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just literally, just bring a dev out, and hell, just have a screenshot of something.
Yeah.
Like, just give us like. And you can even preface it like, "Hey,
Soapy's
this is like
anything.
pre-alpha."
I want pictures. Give me Starfield pictures at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give me leaks.
Show me a vent.
Yeah, I was gonna like at this point, I'm basically like, "Hey, man, give me a air quote leak. I really want to see a air quote leak." Like that, I'm not even asking for fucking much. I'm like, just hell, even if the game doesn't look like steadily like ready to be presented, even preface it with like, hey, this is a pre-alpha picture. This shit is still too far in development, and then just show us the picture. I know some people would meme it and be like, why'd you show it?
Be wary about that, man. Don't forget the fucking puddles when it came to Spider-Man. How everyone freaked out about the puddles, and then the puddles were fine when we finally played the game. But Soapy, there are 3 showcases going on Thursday. I will say this. I'm going to assume, because of what I've heard from you in the past, that the 3 showcases that have been announced do not tickle your fancy much at all. They are Sonic, a PlayStation State of Play, which they have said will probably be 14 minutes of gameplay from Horizon Forbidden West, the new Horizon Zero Dawn game, and then a Dying Light 2 showcase. I'm going to guess that none of these really tickle your fancy.
None of them really do. Dying Light 2 is the only one of those that I'm somewhat interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And even that's like, I'll just look up stuff afterwards. I don't really want to sit down and watch the event.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the Dying Light one, I'd have to play Dying Light 1 first before I have anything about it. But, like, for me, the other 2, one, you said it before we went live. Thank God. Thank God, Sony. Round of applause for finally learning from your mistakes of, hey, we're going to have a state of play, but guys, don't get overhyped. It's just going to be Horizon Forbidden West. Don't think it's going to be more. Don't think it's going to be more. It's just going to be this. You're setting me up for expectations. Like, hey, this is what I should be expecting, because I don't want another situation like I had with the Ratchet and Clank one, where I thought it was going to be about more than Ratchet and Clank, and then you guys just showed off. Pardon me, I'm really yawny today. Just showed off Ratchet and Clank footage. The one I'm most interested in, Soapy, is Sonic the Hedgehog, because first off, I love Sonic. Second off, I love Sonic. Third off, I don't think I mentioned it yet, I fucking love Sonic the Hedgehog. One of my favorite characters when I was a kid growing up. And I know it's the 30th anniversary, and maybe they're going to do things at Sega like Nintendo did for Mario. Release some, like, remaster some games, have some different small things that come out for the character. For you, though, and yet again, I'm not looking for exact predictions here, because like you said, none of these really tickle your fancy, but I do have to ask you, the one thing I'm looking for is give me a like, the one remastered I would love, like complete PS5 worthy remaster, is like, we're going to do the Sonic Adventure games. We're going to redo them. We're going to bring them into the new gen. They're going to even look better than they did back then. Or if they were like, hey, we're going to release the old Sega games, and they're going to be playable in this collection for you. Is there anything special that you think Sega can do, or is this just going to be a lot of like, hey, fan service, remake some games, give you little small things here, and hopefully you guys like it because you love Sonic?
I think it's going to be a lot of fan service. Because, like, for instance, with the Mario and Legend of Zelda ones, like, We kept hearing like, oh, they're gonna break it down into 1/4. We went through like two. We're already like almost 2/4 of the way through the year, and we got like
Yeah.
one announcement for like Mario stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I'm not gonna use this as an opportunity to bash Nintendo, but
You do love doing that. You do
I do.
love doing that.
I mean, dude, to be fair, you don't gotta remaster any of the games. Just play the fucking newest version of Mario, and you've played them all.
Yeah, good
But
point.
still, like I think it's
because you say every Mario game's the same.
yeah, dude, if you play the first ever Mario game, you've played literally every Super Mario Bros. Game since. But still, it's basically I think we probably get remasters, we get fan service. Maybe they say something about a new game. The only thing is, like, I'm gonna be brutally honest, most Sonic games kind of stink. You know, I know you like Sonic. A good chunk of them stink, my guy.
You killed me. You just shot me in the heart, Soapy. You looked at me, you pointed the gun at my heart, and you said, "I don't care, my guy." Boom, and you shot me in the heart. You shot me in the GD heart, Soapy.
I mean, hey, dude, you know, there was that one time that Sega was in that really rough spot for a while, and, Sonic somehow stopped running on the ground. It was just flying through the fucking air. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe you, hell, who knows, dude? Maybe you get the fact they're gonna bring back the animated cartoon again.
Oh my god! Like, here's the thing I was gonna ask. You bring back that. Do we get any movie news? Do we get any, like? Here's the thing I'm wondering, and this is me being like extra, like, ooh, what if? Do you think we get a fucking teaser trailer for the fucking sequel?
I mean, I think there's a chance.
Oh,
I
that
also
would be
almost
so
guarantee
good.
they bring in Sonic's voice actor for that and have him open up the show.
Schwartz. Yep. Oh, he's fucking amazing. I love. He was actually in MODOK. But yeah, I can't, like, that's the thing I can't wait for. I'm gonna check out all three of these, depending on time. Let's see. The Sonic one is at 11 Central, 11 a.m. Central time. The Dying Light one, holy shit! Wait, no. Okay. The Dying Light one is at 2 p.m. Central Time. So they're pretty much 2 hours before we go live. And the Horizon Forbidden West is also at 11. So basically have to pick between Horizon Forbidden West and Sonic. And then can watch Dying Light 2 later in the day at 2 o'clock. But I will be looking closely at these because Thursday we're probably going to talk about these on the show, or at least mention them, like, hey, what did we think about some of these? But the last thing, Soapy, let me go ahead. You didn't have anything else to add on these, did you, before I rudely go on into our final topic?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's basically just all of these. They're just kind of eh.
So, last thing we're talking about today, Soapy, as I reposition and sit up into my chair really quick and make a ton of noise because I hate this chair with how noisy it's become. There's some news on the Portal movie that is being developed by, I want to say it's Warner. It's not Warner Bros. Basically, J.J. Abrams is a producer on it, and the VGC has the article where Abrams first announced his intention to work with Half-Life developer during the DICE talk in 2013. Speaking with IGN in a new interview published this week, the director provided an update on the Portal movie and said that it looked like it was finally moving forwards. We actually do have a script that's being written for the Portal movie now at, Warner Brothers. I thought I was right. We're really excited about the take and the pitch. So it feels like that thing's finally on the rails. Abrams didn't reveal the writers behind the Portal script, if any, or if any directors have been approached, but said that he was excited to expand the story around the video games. It's got enormous potential for a lot of reasons, one of which is because of the limited narrative of the game as ingeniously told as it is, the potential of it is so huge. It's gonna be super fun, he said. Soapy, how pumped would you be for a Portal movie? And is this something that you need to see from the video game movie franchise?
I don't know if I'd say super pumped. I'm not like super down in the dumps about it though. I think Portal could make a really cool setting for a game because I think they're gonna run you through a similar events to what the games are. Because obviously we don't know much outside of the Aperture Science.
So is it
building.
like an action adventure, do you think? Or a sci-fi action adventure?
Maybe.
Or is it like a horror movie?
I don't think they make it horror. Portal's not scary.
No, like
You can't. I swear you cannot make Portal scary.
potatoes. You can't make potatoes scary. There's some with potatoes, right? I know you've mentioned it before.
Well, in the second one, because in the second one, spoiler for like a 14-year-old game incoming. Basically, in the second game, whenever you get to GLaDOS' chamber, it's you put Wheatley inside of GLaDOS' body, and he betrays you, and he puts GLaDOS inside of a potato, and you carry her around for the rest of the game, which is just shit dogs you the whole time.
Okay.
It's like, please, for the love of God, end my miserable existence.
So then it would have to be a like action adventure. It couldn't be anything.
I think it'd be more of like a sci-fi adventure because like there's a lot of, especially like they jump portals. The thing that I'm actually really interested to see what they do with
the CGI with that.
Yeah, I mean the CGI, but as well of how you explain the science of Portal, because the games don't even explain it.
Don't fuck it up.
Like they basically are just like, hey, so there's a portal gun, and you think to yourself, how the fuck do we have a portal gun? And they're just like, because we have a fucking portal gun, dum dum.
That might actually be better that the games don't explain it.
Yeah, well, it's also because then you get like the science community of gaming. They're like, actually, that's physically impossible. Like you get those people to come out of the fucking woodwork. But I think it's best like if they just take the same approach. Like we have a portal gun because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah, I mean,
I almost wonder though.
Go ahead.
If they could almost, I don't know if you've ever seen like this trilogy of movies. There's only one good movie in this trilogy, so if you only want to watch one. Have you ever seen the Cube movies before?
You said Cube?
Yeah, like there's Cube 1, Cube 2, and then Cube 0.
No.
I wonder if they could make it like Cube, because basically with Cube,
are these old
what
movies?
the idea is, kind of. I think one of them came out in the 90s. Basically, what Cube is a horror movie. And basically, what it is essentially there is someone out there that they essentially constructed this giant cube. And basically, they put people inside of the cube. The rooms inside of the cube are trapped. And basically, you are given gear to kind of find your way out of it. Obviously, and essentially, you have to use your brain to get out of it. Obviously, Portal doesn't behave exactly the same way because you have a fucking portal gun.
Yeah.
But I almost think they could pull off something like that because Aperture Science is a little bit of assholes. Like, we're gonna be real here. Like, they literally woke Shell up and were like, "Oh, hey, dum go." Like start running the course. We're not gonna let you understand what's going on. Just start going.
Yeah.
And I wonder as well if they're gonna have the main character be Shell from the Portal games, or if this is just gonna be like just some random person who's at Aperture.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Cube 1 came out in '97, so that's why I probably haven't seen it since I was 7, and that probably would not be a movie a 7-year-old would watch.
Oh yeah, no, your parents probably wouldn't let you watch that at 7 because that movie is very fucked up.
Yeah, so like, I'm interested to see how they because that's the thing when you have movies like this that don't have a lot to. I don't want to say they have nothing to go on, but like J.J. Abrams says, oh, there's not a lot to go on in the games. Sometimes that's good, but sometimes that's not so good. Sometimes like these big movie companies fuck that shit up all the time. Like I didn't know what the fuck they were gonna do with the Sonic movie. Like how do you make a movie out of a guy out of a character that just runs fast? Now for me, they didn't mess up. That was a great movie. I loved it. They can do the same thing with Portal, but it's just one of those things where I look at it and I go, there's potential to fuck up. and I worry about it because how many video game movies have we made where it's like, oh, there's not enough source material, and you make things up and it's not that good.
Yeah, and I think with Portal kind of does have the questionable amount of source material. The only thing is, with Portal, we know the Aperture's doing stuff that's not just involving Shell and GLaDOS.
Yeah.
I think that's the place that they go. If you follow the main events of the game, like, okay, like, it's just going to be a more action-filled, like, version of the game. Which, I mean, isn't bad. I guarantee, though, in this movie, we get GLaDOS in it. I guarantee it.
Okay.
Because what you could literally do is just bring back GLaDOS' voice actress, because she's a giant robot.
Yeah, you could.
All you have to do.
Do you think she would want to come back for it, though?
I mean, I don't know if she hates the role. She came back for the game twice.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, it's going to be... I'm going to say it's going to be interesting to see what happens with it, because, yet again, we don't even have a director attached to it. We don't have actors. It's interesting to see them say, hey, we're going to dive in to the Portal universe or the Valve universe and with Portal to make a movie about it. But that's going to do it for the show, Soapy. Great show. Banger of a show. If you guys want to talk more about shit like this, go in the description down below, or if you're watching us live, it pretty much should be. I should just start adding it to the description. I'm going to start doing that. Discord link will be down below in the description. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you go ahead and do that. You can also check us out live. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're live on our channel. Hit that sub button. We're live every weekday around 5 p.m. Central Time. Otherwise, videos are going straight to YouTube now. You don't have to worry about that. We get done recording and boom, it's on the YouTube channel so that you guys can watch it at your leisure whenever you want. I want to thank you guys for everything that you do. I want to thank Soapy for a great show yet again today. We'll be back tomorrow, obviously, for more gaming news. Make sure to go over, if you're a sports fan, go over to MVP Sports right now, as we are a couple minutes away from MVP Sports Live. Today will be Soapy and I on that show. It's going to be a banger of a show over there as well. I think banger is my word, Soapy. You know how McAfee has, it's electric. I think banger is mine.
Hey, everyone's going to have their own word.
Everyone's got their own. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you for being as awesome as you always are. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.